Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Cierra, and this video is going to be about Jane, whatever her last name is. That's her last name. Jane Vaughn. Just to let you know really quick, if you have a video request, I'll put the link in the description box below. Also, I have my Degrassi Dives playlist. I will also link that in the description box below. If I don't tag it, it'll be in the description box. You can find it. Anyway, let's jump into Jane. Who is Jane? Who's Jane Vaughn? Jane is she's our tomboy character. She dates Spinner. She cheated on Spinner with Declan for a minute. She's friends with Holly J and some other people. Like, she's cool with Mia. Well, she used to be best friends with Mia. She's cool with Danny and Darcy and Sav. She is part of the Stoods when Peter was on that stuff and he got kicked out. Yeah. That's really it. I don't have much to say about her. She's introduced in season 7, so let's hop on it. She's introduced in season 7, standing in the dark for the first episode when they're all sitting at the table. This is when she's introduced, Sav's introduced, Holly J is introduced. We have a whole bunch of characters introduced in this episode when they're sitting down talking about the ski camping trip. Yeah, that's where she's at. Moving on to Death or Glory Part 2, which is mainly Spinner's episodes, and I did do a Spinner video. Didn't I? I swear I did. So I'm not going to cover too much detail about this, but because this is really Spinner's episodes, but this is when Spinner and Jane are interested in each other. They go on a date, but the night is cut short when she nudges him in the groin, which causes him to have a lot of pain, and Spinner leaves the date in a rush, and Jane believes that at first that Spinner was just simply running out on her, but like, he later tells her that he's been diagnosed with testicular cancer. He also admits that he's been fighting various students at school to prove his masculinity, and she was like, that sounds dumb and dangerous. No. So really, she's like there as he's going through all these going through his diagnosis, going through this frustration, acceptance, and anger, and all that. He's going through all that, and so the chemo's making him nauseous, and Spinner starts smoking marijuana to ease his discomfort. He's hanging out with Darcy, and then Jane doesn't approve of it. But by the end of part 2, they reconcile, they make up, and all that kind of stuff. The next time we see her, I couldn't find the episode name, even though I swear for God, I put this down in Darcy's video, but I cannot find the fucking episode. But literally, when Darcy is playing, when Darcy is part of the archery club, she's talking with Jane, and that's when Jane admits that, what's that dude's name? I forget his name every single time I bring him up. Mia's baby daddy. She admits that that's her brother. And that's when Darcy tells her that Peter's breath stinks, and Jane ends up telling, I think she ends up telling Peter, or ends up telling like Danny or somebody about his breath, because that's what Darcy said. And Darcy's like, girl, you're not supposed to tell that business. She was like, oh, my bad. I didn't know. I thought you wanted him to do something about it. But they do make up. And later at graduation, in another episode, Spinner is ecstatic that his cancer is in remission, is determined to pass the exams with Jimmy's help. But then an opportunity rises for the band, and comes up, and he doesn't know if he should stay in high school with Jane and the Stoods, or study hard and graduate with Jimmy. Yeah. They end up graduating anyway. Moving on. That's, like I said, a lot of the beginning episodes of Jane is mainly Spinner centered, so it doesn't really matter too much. Moving on to season 8, Fight the Power. Jane loves football and wants to play, but since there's no girls team, her only option is playing on the boys team, which isn't easy as Jane makes the team. The boys on the team keep making her life hell. When a game starts, she is one of the best players, but Derek makes the team lose. He blames it on Jane, causing the rest of the team to wonder if Jane can't play football. No, Derek, you can't play football. The next day of practice, Jane complains that she had nothing to do with the team losing. After practice, Derek, Bruce jump her in the hallway, leaving her injured, and Spinner pissed. She got Spinner should go back to fighting, because this is the time where he should have laid on everybody's ass, okay? And Lost in Love, like I said before that, that's where I say Derek's character just... Ugh. In Lost in Love Part 1, Jane and Danny are seen walking into school. When they enter the foyer, Jane comments about love really being in the air due to all of the decorations for the sweetheart dance. Danny says it might just be Sav's cologne. Sav ex Sav, he came to decorate the school before their 6:30 a.m. practice. Allie reveals that it was another unsuccessful attempt to win Anya back. Jane says Spinner has to work, so she's going solo at the dance. Allie asks what's the point of having a boyfriend if he can't take you to dances, and she tells her that Spinner works hard now so they can go away to school next year. Danny asks if Spinner has heard back from the police college and says that she says that he will any day now. Moving on. Sorry for the pause. But moving on, this is when Spinner's at home. He actually does get the letter in the mail. It turns out that he doesn't get into police college. But at school, Jane is actually chosen for the National Youth Leadership Symposium, and she will give a speech about being a girl in football. And Shep reminds her to thank him. Jane has to get to class, but asks Spinner to dinner to celebrate their news, because at first she automatically thinks that he got in. She doesn't let him finish. His plans to tell her the truth later come to a halt when she plans the celebration and invites Jimmy and Trina to dinner, and he can't be able to tell them and let them down. Jane catches him in the line when Holly J blabs to Jane about Spinner's secret in the middle of dinner, and she breaks up with him, and what is it? He says not. And she asks if Spinner didn't really get in front of everyone. He says not immediately, and she asks how he could be so stupid. He laughs and says it may be because he's stupid, too stupid for police college and too stupid for her. She says that he isn't stupid, but lying to her was. She walks out of the dinner angrily. After Spinner and Jane get drunk later that night, he comes into Jane's window and surprises her. She is still upset about what happened and says he's not the guy she thought he was, and she needs time to think. And this is when she's like trying to push him out of the house, and that's when her mom finds Spinner and he leaves. Later in the episode, he comes up with the plan to propose to Jane, which is dumb. After Jimmy tells him that he's proposing to Trina. I ain't got nothing to do with you, bro. In part 2, Spinner orders flowers for Jane, and they are delivered by Anya. Sav comments, at least someone has a sweetheart, when he sees the bouquet of flowers that Spinner got her, but then adds on, had a sweetheart, when he sees Jane throw the flowers away. Danny sees this and asks if there's a lover's quarrel. She grunts and he says he hopes she's more articulate for the speech. So she's really having a tough time with the fact of what he's doing. Moving on to later on when she has a speech, she does thank Shep. She thanks like everybody else, but she doesn't thank him. He had snuck in as Barry Cohen to surprise her, and immediately he's pissed because she didn't thank him in her speech. And so they have a fight. Jane says he lied to her and proposed. Oh yeah, because he had proposed in front of a whole bunch of people. She was like, what the fuck's going on? And during like my leadership thing too, like my own personal thing, and you want to try to propose to me? This is dumb. No, don't do that ever again. Like, no. And then he says he gets it if she doesn't want to marry him, but to give the dude his due. Jane considers it as Shep tells him to get ready for the dance. She nods at Danny, agreeing with what he said. At the dance, Jane tells Danny she can't find Spinner because she's trying to make up to him. Holiday overhears and says she won't get a chance to hurt him. Jane asks if she knows where he is, and she says yes, but she has to beg. Jane and Danny look incredulously at her, and Holiday repeats for her to get down on her knees and beg. She does it, and Holly J tells her that Holly J ends up getting Spinner to the dance with the help of Jay, who tells him that Manny is at the dance and he needs to win her back, but it's all a ploy. And they end up making up, and the two are back together. Moving on to causing a commotion, Danny, Sev, and Jane are shown sitting next to each other at Shep's Principal of the Year ceremony. They're angry when the video pops up, and they all stand up, and Jane says, you know why, and everyone leaves. And Jane says, part 1 and 2, I don't want to dive too traumatically, but we know how these episodes go. For Jane says parts 1 and 2. There's only one listed, but we know it's parts 1 and 2. She is having some issues with her sleep and her memory, and then also her dad is coming back to visit because Lucas wants to spend some father-son time. And she doesn't want him in her life because like these bits and pieces of memories keep flashing and coming back. And Lucas is helping her. He's not even really helping because I'm like, oh, you've always wanted alone time with dad. Like this, you've always wanted to be like seen as the favorite. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? We know within these episodes that Jane was assaulted by her father. And when she sees her father hanging out with her niece, Mia's daughter, that's when things like amp up even more, and she actually ends up telling her mom and Lucas what happened to her. Yeah, and then that's when Lucas finally sees the truth and he stands up to their father, and the whole family goes into counseling. Moving on to Danger Zone, Jane anxiously waits outside while Spinner was in the dock with Holly J and the gunman. When Spinner is rushed to the hospital for the gunshot wound, she is by his side, and she's the reason why Spinner turns out Holly J's feelings towards him. Also, he just wouldn't get with Holly J in the first place. Moving on to season 9. In Close to Me, Jane and Declan are put in charge of the new school play. She finds him egotistical but charming. Jane helps plan Spinner's housewarming party since he is the new owner of Pete's Loft. She decides to invite Declan. They're flirty. It's very annoying. I don't like any of this. But she's also having a hard time with Declan because she's like, I feel like one of the guys. Like, it doesn't feel as romantic anymore. And I understand like that, but that doesn't mean you go ahead and cheat on him. So moving on to Wanna Be Starting Something. Her and Holly J are paired up for the project and for the business project, and that's when they start the babysitting business. Jane and Holly J grow really close, and Holly J reveals that she has a crush on Declan, but obviously in Holly J's video, I talk about when she pulled up on Jane and finds Jane and Declan making out. That's when Holly J tells her, bitch, you better tell. Girl, you better get your shit together. You better get rid of Declan, because you are not going to be cheating on Spinner, especially when I like Spinner in the first place. She doesn't say that part, but get rid of him. And that's when Jane is like, you're right. I'll let him go. And they keep that secret. In Start Me Up, Jane is seen as the new lead singer of Stooge. She's suspicious of Victoria's addiction and hears her snorting in the bathroom stall. She tells Peter, but he is skeptical. Peter then dumps Victoria and apologizes to Jane and Spinner for not believing them. Jane and the Stooges invite Peter back into the band later on, and he accepts. The new band name is now Janie and the Stooges, featuring Peter Stone. In Heart Like Mine Part 2, Sav reveals that Jane was absent because her great aunt had died that week. And Keep On Loving You, Jane is nervous about the play being so close. She tries to be there for her best friend Holly J when Declan won't tell her he loves her back. The day of the play, Shantae gets sick, and Jane has to fill in for her as a snobby cheerleader. And Degrassi Takes Manhattan. We know how this goes. I'm giving you the Sparks Notes version because I just don't care. I do not care. Jane is ready to graduate and ready to tell her beau Spinner that she's going to a college in California. Spinner gets mad because he thought the summer would be just about them two. Nervous, she leaves to go graduate and is upset when she doesn't see Spinner there. When she is giving her graduation speech, she is relieved to see Spinner is there and not mad anymore. The next day, they go to Declan's pool party, and while they're changing, they're talking about the fact, like, yeah, I'm so glad that you and Declan, even though you all had a whole affair, like, y'all broke up, and now me and Holly is like, now me and Declan are together and we're in love. They don't know that Spinner's hearing all this, so when they come out, Spinner's like, I heard you. So you were hooking up with Declan. Declan comes over, he punches him, and that's when she screams, and that's when Spinner tells them, both of y'all shut up. Like, you knew. Like, Declan invites her to go to New York, and in New York, she is like walking around or whatever at the beginning, and she encounters a dude that she finds attractive, and he has a band, and he's like, I need like lead singer for Flashy Midnight, my band. And so she ends up auditioning for them, and she becomes the lead singer for like a hot minute. She actually goes on TVM, and Holly J interviews her. And then literally like the next day when she goes to rehearsal or whatever, come to find out the old lead singer, it was George's ex-girlfriend. She is back and they're back together, so she gets kicked out of the group. That's it. That's it. That's literally it. I thought there was more. Damn. That is literally it for Jane. I thought there was more. Damn. Yeah, this video is really short. What do I think about Jane? I don't like her. I don't like the fact that she got jumped because she is allowed to play sports. That's not what I disagree with. My thing about Jane is, first of all, you cheated on Spinner with dusty, ugly ass Declan. That was gross and unneeded behavior. All you could really just say was that I don't feel right in the relationship anymore. Like, just tell him. I feel like Spinner, like, yes, Spinner went on to be sad, and then somehow he ended on the beach with everybody else hanging out, having fun. That's why I'm not covering that part. But like, I don't like Jane. Also, I don't know if this was because Paula Brancotti is the actress who plays her. I don't know if it was a thing that she did or something that she was instructed to do, but every single time like Jane is upset, it's like her chin is out and it's like she's like grinding her teeth, and that face irritates the mess out of me every time I saw her. I'm like, please don't do that. Like, literally, that facial expression pissed me off every single time. I did not like that. Any lessons? Don't cheat on your man. Yeah, that's the only thing. If you like this video, be sure to like it. Comment below what do you think about Jane. Until next time, stay magical. Bye.